Thousands of South Africans are serving time abroad, and more than 60% of those are drug-related. In a recent incident, a South African woman was arrested in Nairobi, Kenya, after she was found to be in possession of 4.5 kilograms of cocaine hidden in her cosmetics and some in her sandals. Locked up in a foreign country, he's an organization fighting for basic human rights of many South African citizens who are serving time in foreign countries. Now, to tell us more, we are joined today by Belinda West from Locked Up in a Foreign Country, the organization that she serves. Very good morning to you, Belinda. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Let's just set the scene. How many South Africans are serving time around the world at the moment, and what are the majority of charges that they face?
Well, the figure is unofficial. We get one figure of approximately 1,000. It's probably a lot more than that. Some people don't want their families to know where they are when they suddenly disappear. But official number is around about 1,000, and about 60%, about 600 to 700, are on drug-related charges.
So mostly drug-related charges.
Yes.
Does South Africa have any prisoner transfer agreements with any other countries?
Unfortunately not. We are one of only 2 countries in the world without such an agreement in place. And it's time, considering our constitution, what it is, we need to get up to speed with the rest of the world and sign into this and bring our people home, not to set them free, but for them to serve their time on home soil.
And what is the process that gets to that point?
For requiring to come back?
Yes.
Well, obviously, when someone is arrested overseas, it's quite a traumatic experience, not just for the individual who is incarcerated. The families suffer tremendously. You know, they're locked up continents away. There's no visitation. There's language barrier. There's cultural barrier. And of course, being a foreigner in those prisons, they are often victimized. And these are, you know, they might be on drug-related charges, but they sort of minimal kind of in terms of crime. They're not brutal murderers or psychopathic killers. And the experience is quite harrowing for them. So for them to come back, they need to come back. They need to be near their families, where their families can rehabilitate them for when they are released, and also to be in their own culture and their own language.
It seems that we're looking at pictures, of course, some of the high-profile cases, and a lot of them seem to be female on these drug-related charges. Are women more vulnerable in sort of being lured in by these kind of international syndicates?
Yes, there are many. The majority are women. Women are vulnerable. They might form a relationship with a man who has alternate intentions for her. This has happened in the past. Then she goes on various lies, based on lies and being coerced into this, and finds herself set up and arrested in a foreign country. A lot of them have got children that they need to support. They might be offered some money to do this if they are doing it knowingly. They might be offered money for something completely different, and they go across totally unaware of what they're getting into.
Now, we've had a couple of high-profile cases here in South Africa, the Tessa Bietka case, Nolubabalo Nobanda case that we've seen in recent times. Do you have any updates for us on what's the latest with these cases?
Yes, with Nolubabalo Nobanda, she was arrested in Thailand, in Bangkok. She was the dreadlocks lady.
Yes, we've got the picture up.
There we go. She is actually very positive in her incarceration. We hear that she keeps a smile on her face, and she's just trying to stay as positive as she can. Apparently, one of the prison guards ordered her to teach her English twice a week. The Thai people like to learn English. So Babsi, as she is fondly known, now has a new mission within the prison, and hopefully will offer the service to the other prison guards, which will make her experience a little bit better in the time that she's there. Tessa Bietka returned to South Africa a few months ago, and she flew with a South African man who was also jailed in Brazil, and they have recently gotten married, and they are quite happily married. So that's quite a happy ending for that drama.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful story. Yeah, silver lining at the end of it. That's a beautiful thing. But now, here in South Africa recently, we've had our prison system very much on the spotlight in the UK because of the Shrindavani case and you know, the threats of rape and all these kinds of things that our prison system stood accused of. Is it any different in other countries? We see some horror stories of especially South American jails and the like, what they might be like, and then Asia as well?
Very much so. You find if you watch a lot of documentaries that prisons in the United States, for instance, are very well run. They're very clean. They get decent food and you know, they might get medical attention and that. South American prisons, some of them, they're sleeping on the floor on pieces of cardboard, cockroaches infested cells. There's limited fresh drinking water. Food is very limited. The families need to send money across to them just in order for them to survive behind prison walls, which cripples the families this side, you know, with the exchange rate being what it is. But the prison conditions in other countries are, depending on the country, they are quite harrowing, a lot of overcrowding. And being a foreigner jailed in those prisons, you're a burden on the taxpayer of that country. You're not wanted there, so you are basically victimized.
Just quickly, Belinda, before you go, just give us some hope to families who've got, who don't know where their family members are, even overseas at the moment. How can they get in contact with you, and what should they be thinking of?
Well, they firstly can contact us through our website, that is lockedup.co.za. There are email facilities there where they can contact either myself or some of the other ladies running the organisation. All we can really offer is a little bit of advice in legal terms of what they can expect. And hopefully we are really petitioning government to actually sign this prisoner transfer agreement so that our people can make application to be repatriated.
To spend their, or to serve their time,
on
home soil.
Yes.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Thank you very much, Belinda West from Locked Up in a Foreign Country. If you have, or if you don't know where a member of your family is that's been overseas, maybe you should get in touch with Belinda and they could help you, give you some advice.